Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fitness, Food, and Freedom Podcast. I'm Jordan Stolz, your host, and today is episode 458 of the show, where I'm going to talk about why you should focus on health over aesthetics. We all kind of get into the fitness game, I think, when it comes down to it, to look better. I mean, we do have other driving factors of feeling better, being more energized, not hurting, being more healthy, being there for our families, that kind of thing. But it does a lot of times boil down to looking better and having better self-confidence. So with that being the main purpose people even get into this fitness game, I kind of think that leads to a lot of problems. And I want to encourage you that even if you're in the fitness game already, to kind of shift your mindset over to health and focusing on the health part of health and fitness instead of just looking better for the sake of self-confidence, vanity, or any other reason, insecurity you have. It's a hard shift. I'm going to talk about how to do that today, the things you should be focusing on. Before we get started, I'd like to update you guys on my current situation or life, training, nutrition, all that kind of stuff, building on each episode. So if you haven't heard the last few episodes that I've been doing this format for the show, go listen to episode, I think, 455, 456, 457, and now 458. I talked last week about how I was really enjoying cardio, doing cardio regularly in the morning since the twin babies were waking me up anyways at 4 o'clock, 4:30, decided to just go do some cardio at that time. I'm still doing that and still enjoying it, but reduced the frequency of doing that actual cardio. So dropped it down to about 4 days per week now, which is usually done on one of the weekend days, Saturday or Sunday, and then a few days during the week as well. And it's actually not necessarily scheduled in my calendar. It's like very intuitive on the days I decide to do cardio or not do cardio. The reason for that is that we can never really predict when they're going to wake up, right? Some days it might be 4 o'clock, 4:30, but knock on wood, lately it's more in the 5 to 5:15 range that they're waking up. Our 3-year-old's usually up by 7, so feeding two babies at 5:30 gets us to 6 o'clock, 6:15 by the time I'm even out of the bedroom. So it doesn't really necessarily work to do cardio on those days, just the early days I've been doing it. It was a shift I wasn't sure if I wanted to make. I kind of felt like I was not being as hardcore as I wanted to be by skipping some cardio to sleep a little bit more whenever they wake up. Like maybe I should set an alarm for 4 o'clock anyways and then go get after it. But I thought of a quote that I heard. I think it was Stan Efferding who said this. Stan Efferding said, doing cardio for skipping out on sleep, on sufficient sleep to do cardio, is like stepping over $100 bills to go pick up nickels on the sidewalk. That really hit me because, yes, he's absolutely right. The sleep is way more important for health. The sleep is way more important for performance, recovery, being not grumpy, like just being a better person overall. The sleep is going to go a lot further than 30 minutes of cardio would be. And what's the difference of 3 or 4 days a week to 6 or 7, right? It's really not that big as far as health benefits for cardio are concerned. So I decided to take the sleep if the babies decide to give it to me. This is a phase of my life, with 3 young kids under 3 years old. It's more hectic and harder to schedule things for ourselves as parents. And I think that's totally normal. I'm sure that, once the kids are 10 years old or even 5 years old, it'll be a lot easier just to go do some cardio at 6 a.m. Even if they're awake, they can just be playing in the same room or, don't have to worry about them getting caught in the treadmill or whatever. So just a phase. I'm sure it'll come in later where I can be a little bit more consistent with that. But for now, I'm not going to step over those $100 bills to pick up nickels. I'm going to take the sleep if I have it. But, I think that really speaks to that I can do that, speaks to the benefits of weight training, really, because I feel comfortable dropping some cardio out of the plan and being a little bit more intuitive with it because it's not my only form of exercise. Weight training is really the cornerstone of everything that I do for fitness, and weight training has a lot of big benefits for people maybe pressed for time like me, because you get a lot of different benefits and things given to you from a single 45-minute weight training session. You get some cardio, because if you're pushing the pace, not resting too long, challenging yourself in the sets with compound exercises for high-ish reps, that's going to tax your cardiovascular system. You're going to be breathing hard, sweating, heart's going to be pumping. So you're getting that benefit even from weight training. You're getting strength, which obviously is really important. Being stronger is going to help with everyday life. And actually, strength is a good predictor of longevity as well, right? It's not just balance, it's actual strength. Leg strength specifically is correlated with longevity. So being stronger is going to help you live a better, happier, healthier life and a longer life. And then it also, I believe, strength training, like weight training, really helps metabolism more than cardio does. Cardio does burn calories, which can help, but weight training burns calories and builds muscle, which is more expensive for your body to maintain, which means you can eat more calories to maintain your weight. So that's a really big benefit. If you like to eat and not diet on super low calories, weight training could, in theory, slightly increase the amount that you could eat to do those things. The other one is time efficiency. You can get in a full body workout, get the strength benefits, the cardio, all that in 45 minutes and, up to an hour maybe. Way more efficient than doing a long hour session of cardio where all you're getting is the cardio benefit. So that is kind of my thoughts, I guess. Overall, though, 3 kids, it's going well. It's becoming more important to me to focus on things that actually translate to me as a parent, right? Which are, I think, energy is really important. Obviously, you get a little bit tired when you're chasing around 3 kids all the time. So feeling good and having energy is really important. Conditioning is really important. Being able to run around with a 3-year-old is big. And I think that really health overall, right? Being there for them is important, and being sure that you are around and that you're doing things to improve your health so you are as present as you can possibly be as a parent. So that is kind of my recap on kids. I think that healthy lifestyle is becoming even more important. Feeling good, conditioned, good shape. That's more important than just like looking a certain way, which kind of leads me into the topic of today's show, which is kind of related to the fitness quote of the day. It's all tied together today. The fitness quote of the day is that a healthy outside starts from the inside. This one I literally just found by searching on Google fitness quote. This was like the 3rd result that popped up. Hit me like a ton of bricks because of what I just talked about. Health and conditioning has been a lot more of my focus lately, and I'm realizing that's way more important than, having a certain muscle striation or a certain muscle size or looking a certain way. It's really coming a lot more down to being healthy on the inside. And what I've realized is that being healthy on the inside translates really well to looking healthy on the outside, which is what everybody really wants when it comes down to it. Health does eventually equal aesthetics. So if you focus on health, the aesthetics, the physique will come. And it's a much better approach than starting your journey or keeping your driving focus being on the aesthetics. Because if you are focusing too hard on the looks, problems will arise, which I'll talk about today in today's show. So let's get started. Episode 458, all about health. So to get started, let's talk a little bit about some things that make health a better focus than aesthetics as far as your fitness goals are concerned. One of them is going to be your mindset and motivations, and this is really the driving force behind everything you do. What is motivating you, and what is your mental space around the thing that you're doing, in this case, fitness. The biggest thing you can do in your fitness journey is being consistent, right? Being consistent and being in it for the long haul is the key to progress. I talk about all the time how a little bit of progress every session, every week, every month, every year is the key. That's what you want to do. Just focus on little improvements over time. Focusing on health will give you much longer term motivations and a better mindset looking way forward in the future than just looking a certain way. Because once you look a certain way, then what? Do you try to improve on that look even more? And at some point that becomes actually impossible. Do you hit that look and then just give up or revert back to what you were doing? Not optimal, right? So what we want are long-term motivations and a mindset that promotes doing this for life, right? Like I say all the time, a lifestyle modification is the key, not short-term goals. You can have short-term goals. That's perfectly fine. I will have a short-term goal of getting bigger arms or, growing your legs or something. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not against that or demonizing that. But you don't want that to be the mindset and motivation behind your whole practice of health and fitness. What you should be thinking about is doing things for the long haul consistently. And what leads you to that? Focusing on longevity and health. So it can really backfire to be focusing too much on aesthetics, on how you look. The importance of your physique changes a bit as you get older. I turned 30 in a week, and I know that's not super old. I know there's some people in the audience listening today that are older than that, but there's also people listening that are a lot younger than that, 18 to 25 range, right? When you're in that range, you just want to get jacked if you're a guy, or you want to get, a better body if you're a girl. I don't know what the verbiage you guys use is, but you kind of go into it, these physique motivations. It's really important to you. Your self-confidence is already pretty sketchy when you're that age. You're kind of finding yourself, right? You're not sure what you want to do with your life. You're not sure who you should be with, if you want kids, if you want to get married. You're not sure what your career is going to be. You want some aspect of control, and you want to improve your life in one way possible, which is where fitness comes in. I think that's great, right? But you need to realize that the importance of your physique, how big your arms look, how your abs look in the mirror in the gym, that becomes less important as you get older. Just trust me on this. Only at 30 years old, I'm realizing that. It might still be a little bit important to me, but it's much less important to me than it was at 19 years old. So you need to realize that you're not going to have this motivation forever. In fact, it's probably not going to last long at all. And because that motivation changes over time, it's probably going to lead to inconsistency at the gym. If you stop caring about your physique, which you will naturally, and not saying completely, but you will care a little bit less and care a little bit more about family time, relationships, career, money, those kind of things, you'll start being less consistent because your driving force, your motivation was looking better, and you just care about that less. So it's important to focus on something that might not be as important early, but is going to be more important late, right? It's like saving for retirement. You kind of save for retirement when you're 25, hopefully, because it's not important to you now, but it will be important to you when you're 55, right? So it's kind of paying future you some money, or in this case, health. So another reason aesthetics can backfire is that the progress can really get in your head that you can make. You can do workouts for life that make you energized, feel good, stay mobile, be conditioned, build some muscle, challenge you mentally and physically. And that can be a consistent practice, which is kind of where the health aspect comes in. If you're focused only on aesthetics and the physique, you can make leaps and bounds type of progress in the beginning, but then it becomes painfully slow, right? You can only build so much muscle, is what I'm saying. You can lose fat pretty fast. You can get pretty lean. But if your goal is to gain muscle and look better on the beach or something, you can do a lot in your first year to 3 years maybe. And after that, the progress you can actually make, besides from losing body fat, is going to be like a pound or two of muscle, every 6 months to a year. Like, it's going to be a very low amount of progress you can make. And the strength gains you can make are going to slow a lot down too. You can't improve your physique linearly forever. It's going to be very plateaued off after a while, which can make fitness really frustrating, can make you want to fall off track, or in the worst case, do things that are extreme to get to that next level. Things like drugs, things like extreme diets, things like extreme training programs that actually can harm you more than help you. You can become really obsessed in an unhealthy way with using your diet and your training to look better when looking better seemed to have plateaued. This is where people get into really sticky situations and unhealthy relationships with their training, supplementation, nutrition, because they're just trying to find that edge to get the progress that they had at one time. Looking better is not your value to society or to your family or to your friends, probably, right? Depending on your career. If you're someone who is a bodybuilder for their living, I mean, yeah, you should probably focus on how you look because that's your job. For everybody else, what's more important is how you are as a person, your relationships, your career, that kind of thing. And this can, like I said, lead to extreme things that become very unhealthy. Extreme diets, extreme training plans, even things like steroids come into play for people way too young to be thinking about that because they are so worried about how they look and the improvements they're seeing. Excuse me. Doing these in the morning. Need more hydration, I think, before doing these podcasts. Let's talk a little bit about the other side of this. How does health bring about a good physique, right? I mentioned that focusing on being healthy on the inside will bring about looking healthy on the outside. So you're kind of getting both. Even if you focus only on health, you're not just the health guy. You still look good, but your focus is on something different. So how does health beget a physique? Well, let's break it down. What are the healthy habits, right? What brings health to you? In my mind, when I think health, I think eating healthy foods, whole natural foods, right? I think drinking enough water, good hydration. I think sleeping, right? I just talked about that at the beginning of the show. Getting good sleep, enough sleep. I think about a balanced diet, not anything extreme, not super high protein, not super low protein, not super low carb, high fat, low fat. It's a balanced plate, fruits and vegetables, proteins, whole grains, all of that. A low body fat's healthy, right? You don't want to be carrying extra body fat if you want to be healthy. That's not going to be healthy at all, actually. It's probably the biggest thing you could do to harm your health is carry extra body fat. I think of cardio fitness as health, right? Having a healthy heart, being in shape, being conditioned, being able to do things in your daily life, being active. So staying active, doing hobbies that are active, that's a healthy person. And then I also think of strength a little bit as being healthy, right? You don't want to be weak. You don't want to be frail. Being strong enough to do daily life tasks and be a fit, strong person that can survive things. That's an aspect of a healthy person. So all of these things, if you applied these even to a physique goal, you would have a great physique that looks great, performs well, that you have the show and the go, right? Instead of just the show. You focus on just the show, you might be tempted to do more things like extreme diets, super high protein, really low carbs, maybe sacrificing sleep to get more calories burned in a cardio session. Your cardio is focused more on calories burned than becoming conditioned. These things start to creep in where your motivations get wrong. The habits that create health help your physique. Things like sleep, hydration, training, exercise, all those things that are making you a healthier person will also make you look better. So it's all about more what is your motivation and mindset behind actually doing those things. Are you coming at it from the right place? So how do I do this is the next question. How do you start focusing on health? So for health, now I hate to even use this word because I come from a strength conditioning background, personal training in this fitness game, and it's a really annoying word from back when I first started in the industry. But the word functional really is the appropriate word here. It's an overused word with terrible context, but it is an accurate word to describe what I'm looking for. What is functional in your daily life? What do you need to be better at life? That's what functional means to me. And it's pretty basic. I think it's 4 pillars. You need to be strong in things that would help you in your daily life. If you're an accountant, you might not need to be like crazy strong. If you're a farmer, you might need to be more strong because you're going to be actually lifting things. So strength that translates to what you need. Being strong, being conditioned. So like I said, playing with your kid, playing with your dog, going for a hike, walking your dog, like all these kind of things. You need to be in shape to do those. You don't want to get winded going up your apartment stairs, right? You want to be in shape to where life doesn't kick your butt doing basic things. And mobility is really important as well. Mobility doesn't seem as important when all you do is train. And then, you're like, well, I can do my exercises fine. Why is it important to be able to internally rotate my shoulder really well or externally rotate my shoulder really well? It's because when you're mobile, you can do things better. You can play better. You can work better. You can just feel better overall in daily tasks and, not develop things that are painful. And that's the next one is injuries. You want to prevent injuries, obviously. Functional means injury-free because if you're injured, you can't function. So how do we start focusing on health in the training aspect? We're going to focus on those things I talked about. Strength and injury prevention. Most of your work should be for training based around weight training because of all the benefits I talked about at the beginning. Focus on strength and hypertrophy. So you're going to be doing some low rep work in the maybe 4 to 8 rep range, and then some also in the 8 to 20 rep range. So anywhere from 4 to 20 reps is fine. It's good to get some low rep strength work in to kind of help that more maximal strength. And hypertrophy rep range is important too because you're going to build that muscle, which helps your metabolism. It's less likely to get you hurt, more likely to be able to use good form. Ego doesn't take over. And also it's a great rep range for basically anybody. Anywhere around 8 to 20 reps, 10, 12 reps is usually my favorite. And then any work on injury prevention, right? So full range of motion, exercises, things that don't hurt you, good form on everything, all that's really important as well. And then regular conditioning is super important. It doesn't have to be cardio every day at 4 a.m. It doesn't have to be 20,000 steps a day. Maybe could be 2 sled push sessions a week or something that gets you with a heart beating really fast, you're winded, you're sweating, something that pushes that cardiorespiratory system you want in your plan. A couple times a week is fine to start. More than 1, less than 5 probably is where you want to be for specific higher intensity conditioning work. And then the last one, very important for training, stay active outside the gym, which could mean steps per day you're tracking. It could mean going on a walk every day. That's a very healthy habit for longevity and health. That as part of training, I lump it into, and it's definitely going to help you look better and feel better. So you're doing some weight training, a couple conditioning sessions, walking a lot or having an active hobby or something. That's going to be what you need. For nutrition, it's like I said, a balanced plate. Every time you eat should have protein, fruits and veggies with a big focus on micronutrients and fiber because those are big health markers. So when you eat, have it be based around a protein source. Lean meats, low-fat dairy, even high-protein carb sources like lentils, beans, things like that are fine once in a while. Try to include fruits or veggies at every meal. So it could be berries, it could be an apple, it could be bananas, it could be frozen fruit, it could be frozen veggies, it could be fresh veggies. Try to include something in every meal in the protein and fruits and veggie category, and that's going to compose most of your food, which is going to give you a lot of fiber and micronutrients, and it's going to give you, it's going to prevent you from overeating too, which is also a really secret big benefit. Your focus should be on micronutrients more than the typical person focusing on physique or changing their body or losing weight. Think about what foods give you a lot of antioxidants, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and try to eat those foods. And that's going to kind of push you in the direction of more fruits and vegetables, more whole grains, more lean meats, because that's going to be the things that provide those to your body. And then don't ignore the importance of fiber. does the same thing as a focus on micronutrients, pushes you towards whole foods. And also fiber is really important for digestion and feeling good. And then water. I mentioned hydration a couple times. Don't ignore hydration. Drink your water. Get plenty of water in throughout the day and you'll be fine. Those are healthy habits and they're basic, right? I'm not giving you any secret supplement or plan or regimen. It really comes down to simple habits that you need to be able to do consistently. And to do those consistently, you need to have the right mindset to where it's important to you to be healthy and live a long, energetic, happy, healthy life. So kind of like I'm doing right now, weight training's the cornerstone, nutrition's balanced, cardio mixed in here with more of a focus on sleep, and kind of thinking about the things that I can do to become a better parent, better in my career, and better overall as a person. So that focus, it's a hard switch, right? I'm doing this episode, giving you guys a baseline. It feels like it's really hard to just mentally change, like, yeah, I'll focus on health now, not aesthetics. It's not that easy. A lot of times those thoughts are going to creep in, right? You're going to see yourself in the mirror. You're going to see someone else online or something. You're going to have thoughts that creep in about physique and want to do something extreme. Remember, long-term motivations, consistency are what matters. Focus on these healthy habits and believe me, you will look better. So you are in a way focusing on the physique, but do the things that support a healthy life for the right motivations and the physique will come. Focus on being healthy on the inside to be and look healthy on the outside. And that's all I want to talk about today for today's episode 458 of the podcast. Thank you guys for listening to today's show. If you guys have any questions about today's episode, or if you want to work with me in a coaching capacity, you can reach out to jordanstolzfitness@gmail.com. I will put that in the description of this podcast so you can just copy it in. And that'll do it for today. Thank you for listening. Talk to you guys later.